Hello and welcome back to Absolutely. My name is Benny. That is Sal. And today, as we did with Midnight Suns, I did it for, was it Midnight Suns I did it for?
No, I don't remember what game it was. Maybe it was Midnight Suns. I don't think so.
Oh, Gotham Knights. I told you the plot to Gotham Knights.
Yes.
You were like, I'm not going to play Gotham
I'm
Knights.
not playing that.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, let me tell you what happened.
Yes.
So we're going to do the same thing with Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. We get Sal's live reaction to me running through the plot of the game and seeing what his thoughts are. So, Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League opens up with the Suicide Squad being made.
Right, they're forming it for the first time, or have they gone? Yeah.
Well, it's another weird thing. And so one thing that I've stated since the creation of this game is I don't feel it's part of the Arkhamverse. I feel like the Arkhamverse was tacked on to sell the game.
Yeah.
There's a lot of contradictions. One of which is right at the beginning. Okay. They're making the Suicide Squad for the first time. If you have followed Arkham, the Suicide Squad, in theory, should already exist based on the movie and the fact that the original Deadshot was in it. I also comment immediately, Boomerang asking, wait, I thought Deadshot was white, that they are changing the race of Deadshot right away. It's acknowledged in the game.
Yeah, there was another Deadshot. I saw like one of the videos they made where it's like, here is a voice-only explanation for where the other Deadshot went.
I'll explain that now because we're not going to, because it's literally a small beat. So what is explained is that the original Deadshot was the fake Deadshot because Deadshot, this version, retired with his daughter.
Okay.
So the new guy took over, started to get a name for Deadshot again. Assassins went after this Deadshot.
Okay.
And so in retaliation, he went after the fake Deadshot, killed him, and Green Lantern arrested him, putting him in jail, which is why he's like mad at Green Lantern because he got taken away from his daughter.
Okay. All right.
My opinion, they did it because honestly, the cast of DC was all created in the 60s and it's like 99% white guys.
Yep.
They wanted to mix it up a little bit.
And I understand that, especially, it's fine.
No, I have nothing against that, but that's why I think they did.
No, but that's why. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, otherwise you got two white guys, a shark, and a girl. Like, I mean,
right. It's like
now you have one white guy, a black guy, a shark, and a girl. Like,
right. Like, fine. Okay.
So anyway, what ends up happening is the Suicide Squad gets put together. They don't know what's going on. Somehow they're completely in the dark. Turns out that on Justice Day, Brainiac's ship arrived. Justice Day is a holiday to celebrate the Justice League forming.
Okay.
The Justice League decided to go into the ship to try and broker peace with Brainiac and went missing as Brainiac invaded Metropolis. Amanda Waller has formed up the Suicide Squad with the original intention is more to get information as to what's actually going on.
Okay.
You do a bunch of introductory missions where you learn who everyone is, what's going on, the cast, all that kinds of stuff. And then it's deemed we have to kill the Justice League. To which, of course, there's a bunch of funny banter of like, what? How? Like,
yeah, definitely. Because it's like, that seems like a really stacked competition.
Exactly. This is discovered because they're trying to track down Lex. In the middle of looking for Lex, because Lex might have an answer to everything, they end up finding Flash. Flash is a good guy who's managed to outrun Green Lantern and Batman and everyone.
Okay.
That's how he's not being mind controlled.
Right.
They also discover Wonder Woman has somehow not been mind controlled. They never go into it, but there's enough lore behind Wonder Woman that you can be like, she just isn't.
Right.
That's the end of that. And basically, the Flash ends up running around, saving the Suicide Squad from Green Lantern one time. He gets so beat up that what ends up happening is they have to drag him to the Gotham Museum, which is a celebration of Arkham.
Okay.
Now, this is really one of the only mentions of the Arkhamverse in this universe.
Right, sure, yeah.
Is this museum that runs through the timeline of Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight, running over all the backstories of the villains where you find out more about Deadshot and things like that.
All right.
Okay, in there, Captain Boomerang wants to finally get revenge on Flash, who is so beat up from the Green Lantern fight that he can't get away.
Okay.
So the first thing he does is he cuts off Flash's finger. That's going to be important. Okay.
Yeah.
He cuts off Flash's finger. Batman shows up in one of the coolest sequences of the game. He turns the lights out. Well, it's funny because when he first shows up, Batman's got one of the guards. He's beating up the guard. And Harley's like, it's fine. Batman doesn't kill. And then the guard stumbles out and falls over. And Harley from like 50 feet away, are you okay? And then another guard comes out with a battering jammed in her neck.
Yeah.
And Harley's like, we got to go. All the lights go out. And then one by one, the Suicide Squad is picked off by Batman. Not even a contest. There is no fight. He just takes them all out like you would assume Arkham Batman would do.
Right.
The only reason he gets away, you get away from the whole situation, is he gets his hands on Flash because you were dragging him around. And then Brainiac calls him back, so he teleports both him and Flash out of there,
Okay.
letting the Suicide Squad survive.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad has to go. Suicide Squad has to move forward. They end up discovering more stuff going on in the city, what's actually happening. They end up getting into the Hall of Justice by using Flash's finger.
Oh yeah.
That's
Okay.
how they get into the Hall of Justice, where they
That's
discover
smart.
Wonder Woman's in. She explains that she's going to save everyone. Now the argument comes up. You can't save them. You have to be willing to kill them.
Right.
And she's like, they're my friends. I will save them no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So what this ends up leading to is the discussion of, we got to, you know what? Let's go back to getting Lex. Lex will have an answer.
Right.
So they go to get Lex. Lex is ripped out of his armor by the Flash immediately. And then Flash begins to torture him as the Suicide Squad is watching.
Okay.
One of the funniest scenes is Deadshot's looking to take a shot on the Flash while he's torturing Lex. And Boomerang's like, that's the Flash. You might as well post him the bullet.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
And so Deadshot takes the shot. Flash runs up,
Mhm.
talks a bunch of shit. They take a gun to Flash's head, take the shot. Flash dodges. He's like, you might as well mail me the bullet.
Yep. Yep. It's great.
Flash proceeds to beat everyone up and lock them in place, do a bunch of weird stuff, activates a giant Brainiac cannon, all Flash humor going on, but evil.
Right.
Takes Lex, traps him in a thing. And what ends up happening is you end up battling against a giant Brainiac cannon. You got to fight your way through that.
Okay.
Okay. Then what ends up happening is you go get the container, free Lex.
Okay.
You discover that Lex has created a device that will react to Speed Force and throw whoever it hits away.
Okay.
You discover this because Boomerang uses the Speed Force. By the way, they all have their powers because they broke into the Hall of Justice and they had trophies on the wall. That's where the powers come from.
Okay.
There's trophies on the wall. Boomerang took it was like somebody's Speed Force gauntlet.
Oh, okay.
So he can run kind of, not like Flash, but he can still move.
He's a little fast. Yeah.
Right. He tries to catch Lex. Lex ricochets him with the device. Problem solved. Flash shows up, talks some shit, rips Lex's heart out of his chest, breaks the device.
Okay.
And the only thing that prevents him from killing you is Wonder Woman shows up, and you get a pretty cool fight between the two of them real quick.
Cool. Okay.
Wonder Woman ends up using the lasso on the Flash, and that's the trailer scene. Diana, you have to kill us.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't believe that, lets Flash go. He runs off, and she takes all of the Suicide Squad, throwing them in the container, thinking it removes them.
Mm.
The container gets thrown by Wonder Woman. We apparently land in the Daily Planet.
Okay.
You get a whole bunch of like weird backstory. Deadshot's afraid of he's claustrophobic, so we have a lot of going around crazy stuff happening in the container.
All right.
You get out. Lois has contacted you. She thinks that maybe you can actually help, so she frees you.
Okay.
You get out of the Daily Planet, and that's when it's decided you have to kill the Justice League because Wonder Woman won't.
Yeah.
So it has to be them. So that leads to kind of like almost Mega Man-esque kind of plot where we have to find ways to be able to fight each of the Justice League members.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So the first thing is we run into Toyman. Toyman rebuilds the Flash deflector.
Okay.
So the concept is if you can hit the Flash with one of these bullets, it'll charge the device so the bullets can move at the speed of the Flash.
All right.
So that you can actually hit the Flash.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you go rebuild this device, do a bunch of live service nonsense where you learn about it all. It's like 2 hours of side missions. You
Okay.
eventually rebuild the device, run over to this arena. They have a big scene where they call the Flash out. Flash like shows up, tries to grab Boomerang, ricochets, and it's one of my favorite scenes. It's like this really epic music. Flash gets bounced back by the device, and you just see Boomerang like he's like just so happy that
So
it worked.
sadistically thrilled that he's able to get one over on Flash. Yeah. All right.
So then you proceed to fight the Flash, which was one of my favorite fights because the Flash is doing everything the Flash does, dupe bodies in multiple locations, things like that. Now, the first thing, and I'll explain why I'm bringing this up later, the Flash has his finger back.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll bring that up later.
The Flash that's attacking them has all 10 fingers.
Right. And it has been it was a plot point and a funny moment that it was removed.
Right. It drew attention. We know that Boomerang has Flash's finger like in a pouch, or he used it to get into the Justice League.
And he's
headquarters.
collecting them. He tries to get everyone's finger. It doesn't work after the Flash.
Okay.
He's like, I'm taking trophies.
yeah, definitely. But okay, so but this Flash attacks them, and it's a Flash presumably that we've been dealing with the entire game.
Right. because you watched him be a hero, get beat up, turn into the villain, fight Wonder. You watched this Flash through all this, but at
Yeah.
some point he managed to get all of his fingers back.
Right.
So you end up fighting the Flash. You have to hit him with the thing that charges the Speed Force bullets. Shoot him with that. You go through a bunch of phases. Him doing Speed Force tornadoes, Speed Force balls. He does all the crazy shit. Favorite comment was an IGN review that the Flash is too fast.
Oh, what?
Yeah, he's not. But
That's insane. What a complaint.
the Flash was too fast. I couldn't handle him. You eventually kill the Flash.
Okay.
It boils down to he is dead on the ground. They take the final shot. Boomerang goes to piss on him. That's the scene you've seen.
Yep.
He pulls it, unpulls his pants. The rest of the crew tells him, "Hey, man, little respect. Don't do that."
Mm-hmm.
He does not piss on him.
Right.
To me, knowing Boomerang's history with Flash, even if this is the Arkham versus the comics, of course Boomerang would be like, that's Boomerang.
Yeah. This Boomerang especially, but yeah.
But it didn't happen though, so I don't think it's disrespectful, but it makes sense that he would want to. What ends up happening is it doesn't happen. They make a joke about the size of Boomerang's penis, which is also on the internet, and everyone's like, "Oh, they're gonna piss with the Flash," and they make jokes about his penis. It's the Suicide Squad. Yes, that's what they do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But Green Lantern shows up. As you're fighting Green Lantern, Flash's body gets warped away by Brainiac, and you fall through the multiverse.
Okay.
And that's when you discover by second Lex, who's now alive because he's from Earth 2.
Right. Okay.
And they call him Toother, which I think is the greatest name ever. You discover Brainiac is attacking the entire multiverse all at the same time to prevent the Justice League from being able to stop him and gain ultimate power. It's revealed a little bit later the amount, but there are basically 13 Brainiacs working in conjunction across the Elseworlds to do this. And Earth 2 has already been lost.
Right.
So the plot now is you getting Lex back to Earth 1 where you are, or where they never even specify if you're Earth 1, but your Earth.
Right. Okay.
So basically, right away, it's revealed this is a multiverse plot. So this isn't even, this is the one universe. In the Arkhamverse, this was never even hinted at.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
So,
no.
We're going into the multiverse realm. You warp back to the main area. Lex doesn't want you to tell Waller you exist.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole back and forth about who do you trust and all that other crap because Lex is still, Lex, and Waller's still Waller. But what eventually it all rounds up to is you go and battle against the Green Lantern. Yeah. Green Lantern has got a giant fortress that you need to go into. It's a pretty cool fight where you got to go up and down multiple levels, battling against all the constructs. When you kill enough constructs, he's weakened. The device that you ended up getting to fight him is a yellow lantern ring.
Nice.
So you're using that to power the bullets to shoot Green Lantern.
Sure.
So same concept. They find a device that makes bullets work.
Right. Yeah. Everyone is using bullets in this game to kill the Justice League.
Yes. But at least they're finding ways to do it.
Yeah, that's true. It is in some way tailored. Okay. Yeah.
So you end up fighting the Green Lantern. Once he drops down dead, immediately it's commented that he's dead. The ring doesn't leave Sal.
Yeah.
And the shields and stuff don't drop. The idea was to get rid of the Green Lantern and the shield on Brainiac's ship would fade.
Right. Exactly.
Does not. And that's acknowledged in the plot again, just like they've acknowledged prior that the Flash has all of his fingers again.
Right. So is the implication here that the Justice League that's been attacking everybody that they know personally is actually from the other Lex Luthor's reality?
That's part of the problem.
And like Brainiac took all the original Justice Leaguers that we fought, like the 9-fingered Flash. They're like in tubes or something.
That's my theory, and I'll explain it because I'm going to explain the plot holes that are then brought up by the cast.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't brought up by the people, then it would be bad. It would be bad writing. But it is brought up by the people in the game as like, hey, you need to notice this is going on.
Yeah.
It gets even weirder. King Shark takes the ring off of Green Lantern's finger, puts it on, he becomes a Green Lantern, and then Pseudo becomes evil. He uses Green Lantern's powers to get rid of the Green Lantern shield and then turns it on the Suicide Squad. So now the ring's not working right. Because that doesn't happen,
Yeah.
And King Shark at this point is one of the characters that actually likes the squad.
Right.
So it wouldn't make sense for him to turn on the squad the way he did. Okay. So what ends up happening there is Green Lantern's down, and who shows up right then? I think it was not Brainiac. because the game ramps up at this point.
Right, you're like, oh, this is the game.
Yeah, no, Flash was like the reveals all happened. Now we're ramping up, trying to get rid of him.
I think Superman shows up, right?
Oh yeah, it's Superman. That's the scene. So
yeah,
basically, the Killer Shark gets rid of the shield.
Yeah.
And then they launch a missile at Brainiac's
Waller
ship.
fires a missile at them. Like, oh, the shield's down. But nuke them.
They're going to nuke it, which kills everyone. That's the plan. And that's when Superman catches the nuke, which is why he's like, yeah, Superman.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, Superman. While this is going on, Green Lantern's body, which has not had blood come out of the gunshot wound, but it came out of the finger. So there's and the fact that they're showing blood for injuries means that, okay, we would have showed blood for this injury.
Right, totally.
Why didn't we? He gets teleported away by Brainiac. Okay. Wonder Woman shows up. Amazing battle against Superman. And what ends up happening is you're now going through the city as they're battling each other.
Right.
Superman runs off with that, and then a couple more things happen, and then that the Wonder Woman thing. No, I think Batman comes first. Okay, hold on. So hold off on Wonder Woman. It's still epic when it does happen.
Right.
But what basically ends up happening next is you end up running into Batman. The decision is that Batman can be caught. To which everyone jokes and goes, how the hell are we catching Batman? So what they decide to do is it's decided that there must be a Batcave in Metropolis.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's fair.
And Gizmo has the specs of the Batmobile. So he builds a janky Batmobile, and the tunnel will open for the janky Batmobile. Okay.
Okay, cool.
So you have to go to these various locations, more live service stuff. And you got to get into a Batcave. In the Batcave, you discover one, Tim tried to fight Batman, and everyone's like, Tim is dead. No, his mask is on the ground with blood next to it. That there's no body, no death.
Right.
So,
and they're not afraid to show them. So,
oh yeah. Well, again, this is not like, oh, we're PG-13ing this stuff.
Yeah.
And also you revealed all the stuff you've been using from the Speed Force thing, the Yellow Lantern ring, all Batman's plans. This is his Tower of Babel scenario.
Right, exactly.
And he gets to the point where he's like, and the only way to defeat me is there's no way to defeat me. Because you discover that this video you're watching is him telling Dick, Tim, Barbara, and Jason how to take him out and everyone else out.
Yes.
And he's like, the only way you're going to defeat me is to be a family and work together. So now we're moving into Suicide Squad has to become a family and work together to get through these next play.
Yeah.
Batman finds them in the Batcave, turns all the lights out. You go through a Scarecrow sequence where he's trying to spook you with like your greatest fears. Yeah. And then you fight Nightmare Batman from Arkham City or Arkham Knight.
Oh, okay.
You know how we ended it with the Nightmare?
Yeah.
It gasses all of you and you fight giant Nightmare Batman.
Okay.
It's kind of a lackluster fight, honestly. I thought it would be more interesting, more spooky, more hide from Batman.
Sure.
But you then end up not killing Batman because you need to bring him back alive.
Yeah.
So you knock him out, beat him down like crazy. This is like a whole hour sequence of you just beating down Batman and he's still getting up and fighting.
Yeah.
And then you bring him back to Lex, where some funny back and forth go on where he cracks a joke and like stabs him. It's like, and what ends up happening is more live service stuff goes on, and then you go get Batman's body because he did tests on it and he discovered that the DNA of any of the League has been altered. Sure. It's not the proper League DNA. Okay. You then go to, while you're waiting is when Superman arrives. That's what I think that's the moment.
Okay.
So at somewhere in here, basically Superman arrives to get you. Wonder Woman shows up. Waller gets injured in this big battle. And what it boils down to is Wonder Woman and Superman are like bouncing across the city fighting while you're escorting Waller back to the base.
Gotcha.
So it's actually a really cool sequence where it's just like they're flying around you and all over the place and things like that. Which was a lot of fun. I actually really enjoyed that. The escort portion kind of sucked.
Sure.
But as well as what's that?
Everybody loves an escort mission.
Exactly. Why would you do an escort mission?
I don't know. That pads the runtime.
But yeah, so you go through that and it's all going on. And what Wonder Woman gets on, and she did it earlier in the story, but on her shield is kryptonite. She put kryptonite onto it, and everyone's like, put it on the sword. She put it on the shield because she doesn't want to kill Superman.
Right.
They have a big battle going back and forth. It ends in front of the Hall of Justice. He's got her down on her, like she's about ready to be beaten and over. She takes the kryptonite, jams it in his chest. And I'm not talking like a little thing. Straight through, all the way in. Huge shard of kryptonite. And he reacts briefly, and then he nukes her with heat vision, unfazed by it.
Yeah.
She's decimated. And she
Mhm.
looks at the squad and she's like, that should have killed him.
Right.
Another thing that doesn't add up.
Yeah.
The deduction is that the altered DNA of the Justice League is why that didn't affect him and why things are weird.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, they're going to make gold kryptonite, which we lace our bullets with, which allows us to go shoot Superman.
Uh-huh.
So Wonder Woman gets dusted like she's in Infinity War, which I said is, I mean, she's made out of clay.
I like that.
There's a
Yeah.
thousand ways you can bring back Wonder Woman.
Uh-huh.
And then you go off to have the final battle against Superman,
Yeah.
which is an also really cool fight. But and that one boils down to charging up the gold kryptonite so you can shoot him for brief periods of time.
Okay.
They all boil down to charge up thing.
Charge your thing, fire your gun.
Yeah.
The extra thing. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Exactly. So that's where you end up taking out Superman, who, as the moment you drop him, gets teleported away again.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they go, yes. Okay, I see.
Brainiac grabs him again.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, you then go to confront Brainiac, and he does the full reveal that you managed to defeat his Justice League, but that doesn't matter. There's 13 Brainiacs in the big plan, and he's going to alter you guys to make you his new Justice League.
Yeah.
But then you get saved by somebody teleports you out. I think Lex or somebody. Somebody gets you out of there just in time.
Okay, yeah.
I think, yeah, Lex, because that's where the end of the game basically is, what I consider the end of the game.
Oh, what?
Well, because it basically hints at the live service progression now. There's 13 worlds and a lot of things you got to do.
Okay.
So you walk out and they're like, we're a team now. Yeah, da. And it should have been like credits roll at that point. But instead it opens up the first live service rotation.
Okay.
So you got to go do like a bunch of objectives, which unlocks the Brainiac raid to go fight Brainiac for the true ending.
Okay.
Because you got to fight the Brainiac of this Earth.
Right. And you got 12 other Brainiacs. Okay.
Yeah. So you go fight him again. Nothing new really happens there. It's just a timed mission. He runs around using flash powers for this particular fight. So you basically do the flash fight again with some Brainiac stuff on it.
Okay.
And they trap him. They got a Pokeball at some point, basically, and they keep trapping people in it. It shrinks him down and puts him in it. And they did that, and they didn't have air in there, so they thought they killed Brainiac.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, you literally kill Brainiac, you bring him back, release him, and Lex and Tuther and Waller are like, all right, we got 12 more Brainiacs to go kill.
Yeah.
And then the game goes, boom, 4 seasons already planned. And you're like, okay.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I mean, like, if it's,
So my theory is that you already put that together based on me pointing out the things.
Yeah.
It's not the league. And that's the video making the rounds on everything.
Yeah. I mean, like, really, it's the game. They're not going to give away the store in this game if you have, like, 4 more installments of this game to go.
I feel like, because Destiny does that too. Season 2 or 3 reveals things from like the previous expansion that we didn't know. And I feel like that's what they wanted to go for. And I do actually pseudo agree, although I wish they'd said something at least publicly. Don't put it in the game, put it publicly. Hey guys, it'll make sense later. They're not the real ones, or we're getting other ones or whatever.
Yeah.
The leaks have already stated, based on audio logs we have, that the league is coming back. How we don't fully know, but they are coming back. It's not going to be a permanent death thing. But I do think the reason why they're keeping quiet about, season 2, we're getting Flash. And instead of stating all that, if the league if the focus of the game became reviving the league, I feel like that would become the focus of the plot, when what they wanted to do was tell a story about these 4 convicts working together and telling their story. Because, I mean, as a DC fan, if this suddenly turned into, the league's alive, we got to go save them. Okay, I don't care about the Suicide Squad. Let's go save those guys. They didn't want that. But what do you think?
I mean, like, honestly, hearing the stuff, knowing the context doesn't hurt, Yeah.
Oh, the death of Batman is they had to bring Batman out to lure Superman out.
Yeah.
And Harley goes through a monologue, and all the lines you see online are fake. Right. She basically goes through a monologue about how Batman's always bested her, and she's finally going to win. And she ends the line with, "You end on your best joke," and then she shoots Batman.
Yeah.
And my complaint about it was I didn't feel any problems with that. I felt that it was kind of lackluster.
Right.
It just kind of happened. There was no swell, no build up, no nothing.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, if they had been more forthcoming, and I don't like the idea of these like looter shooter type of ideas anyway. Yeah. Like, I was never gonna be a person to play that version of the game. If it was a AAA title that was one game that did that, and at the end the Justice League show back up or something like that, I might be more inclined to play it. I don't know. Maybe I'll play it when it's all done.
That was actually in my review. I said, look, if you want to play looter shooter games with your buddies, hop in now. This game's great. Gameplay's great. Gameplay's solid. I love it. If you got people to play with and you want to do these kinds of games, do this.
Yeah.
If you want a single player narrative, give it a year. The game's gonna the story will be done in the first year, most likely. We'll have the whole thing, and it'll be on discount.
That's
like
true.
if you're just gonna hop on and play by yourself with the AI teammates, that's the best time to get the game.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. No, I mean, like, it sounds like an Elseworld story to me, which is exactly which I am not against. But it's like the way it was sold to me, the way that they presented it was very mean-spirited and like, you know, we're pantsing the Arkham universe games, basically. Like we're gonna have these new characters because they are new characters in respect to like we've never played them, we've never seen them in the other games, right? So like these new characters are gonna show up.
I think that's the problem. They're like, it's the Arkhamverse, and they're all gonna die.
Right.
All the ones you wanted to see in the entire Arkham series, dead.
That sucks. That is not my idea of a good time. I understand but I can hearing all the descriptions and like, you know, running into Toyman and dealing with all these different like elements to it. It's like I get the fun of making this game, of breaking the story for this game, of developing it. Like I understand like, oh man, we're going to play with the whole DC universe. We're going to go here, do this, that. It's like that sounds fun.
Yeah.
And I understand like the draw, but you know, I'd rather live in it and play that world than break it.
Yeah. And I think that's a lot of the complaints. Now, my idea to make a slight change to the story, especially if we're going to be bringing back Flash, Green Lantern, and Superman, and especially because we can't bring back Batman now.
Yeah.
All you can do is basically be like, yeah, we freed Batman and he went back to Gotham, and that's that.
Right. Like, I mean, Conroy may have recorded a bunch of stuff for like his triumphant return, and then we just go like, and then he went over there, you know, like, and that's fine. Like, you know, I'm okay with like that, you know, but we're just never getting it more, and it's just sad.
But I would have a slight tweak to the story, make it the same story, right?
Yeah.
What a lot of people watching the video, watching me play the game, said this portrayal of Wonder Woman was one of the best.
Right.
She's so conflicted and she's very obvious about it. Her design's great. The fights are great. Like she's one of her. I would have put Batman alongside her and put another leaguer into the evil side.
Yeah.
Bring in Aquaman, bring in Green Arrow, bring in somebody like that.
Yeah.
Have Batman work with her and his triumphant death be at the hands of like Superman or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like to make him evil, I think is the problem. Because if you had made him work with her, like what if him and her both avoided the mind control?
Yeah. If Batman was killed by evil Superman.
Yeah.
If he reluctantly worked with the Justice or with the Suicide Squad and then was killed by Superman, I think people would. I think most of your complaints would be gone.
No, like if because the triumphant moment was Wonder Woman died saving the squad.
Yeah.
Like that was why they're like, how are we gonna fight Superman? That Wonder Woman just died. Like,
yeah.
At the sequence when she's dying, they're debating if they should go help her.
Yeah.
And Waller's yelling at them, no, help me. And that's why they don't go help Wonder Woman.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
If that had happened to Batman, I think that would have been a much better narrative in general. And bear in mind, this is some random YouTuber's opinion, guys. I don't want you to be like, Penny said. No. I am not a professional writer. No. But I just would have had him working with the squad. It would have just made, I think a lot of these complaints would be out the window. People would have enjoyed it. You could have had a very heroic and triumphant death for him.
Yes.
Instead of a very Harley gets to make a speech and shoot him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That's
they fumbled the ball.
Yeah.
Honestly, like they fumbled it, but like
I still think you'd get flack for having an evil version of the Justice League that everyone's wanted for years.
Yeah.
But I think it would have been less of this reaction.
Yeah.
If so.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, thank you. That actually helps. I might play it someday.
I mean, I think you'd enjoy playing it with like
I think I would too. Just you know.
It's actually not bad. I actually really enjoyed it. You gotta be aware what's gonna happen. They're gonna kill the Justice League.
Oh yeah, no, and I knew. Like I knew that was gonna happen. But you know, which is why I didn't do it. I was like, no.
So but all right, I hope you guys enjoyed my recap here. Maybe I'll go over the Midnight Sunsplot with Sal since we never did that. If you really want it, let us know down below and make sure this video does well. Because that game's old now. That video won't do well. But
no, that's true.
All right, guys, thank you so much. We'll see you next time right here at Absolutely.